episode 7. We got here. We're going to be talking all about fakes, kind of some stories around that we've heard, stories that we've come across, and more or less how do we actually try to find a fake. There's so much cards going around from us, from sports to Pokemon. So obviously there's people that are going to take a lot of advantage. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But first, give us a wrap up of what's been happening recently.
All right, a lot of things have been happening recently. We've started on eBay Live. I've been doing NBA, and he's been doing Pokemon, and it's been going crazy. I think we've had a few already streams for NBA and Pokemon One Piece and all of that, and the TCG world, and we're loving it. I think. Well, I'm loving it. We're both. I think I can say on behalf of both of us that we're both loving selling on eBay. It's a nice community out there too.
It's definitely been a big community. Yeah. Like because I did the streams with my son, and they've been so welcoming to him. I love kind of just the card community, the collector community. So it's been really good because we've been doing rip and ships, and obviously my son is a professional ripper, so they've been actually giving him advice, which is really good, and kind of really helping him across the ropes as well on how to open. Because I also don't rip too many packs. Either as well. So it's been good. The community's been great.
Yeah. No, it's been awesome. I think it's starting eBay Live. I'm doing NBA. NBA is, we always knew was a big market, but just doing eBay Live, doing singles, it's been awesome creating that community on eBay Live. And then another sport we've been doing is NRL, and seeing NRL. I've done a handful of streams and just seeing it grow, getting people more excited for the NRL card hobby is actually awesome to see. So we stream 4 or 5 times a week. So follow us on the social medias, and you'll see our schedule, and you'll be staying up to date of when we actually stream. So, and also alongside eBay Live, we're doing.
Yeah. So at the time of this recording.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure when this is getting released. So alongside eBay Live, we're doing a pop-up in Rouse Hill. It's going to be throughout a whole week. The dates.
Yeah, but by the time this comes out, we would have done it already.
Yeah,
you'll probably get a recap.
So yeah, it's going to be exciting. We haven't done a pop-up before, so we're going to be doing our local store, local shopping center. We'll be there for a whole week. It'll be good seeing how big the hobby is in our area. We already know how big it is, or how great it is creating this community around our area. So it'll be good seeing there for the whole week and see how we go. So stay tuned on how we do.
That pop-up's been crazy. Like I think what we've been doing only really started about a year and a bit ago.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
So for us to have a pop-up, it's a massive achievement. My son loves it. He's wanting to kind of be at the pop-up every single day. Like obviously it's school holidays as well. So it's definitely great. Like I love the progress of it, and the community's been good. So I think since our last podcast, like a lot has happened. Yeah. But things are going so well on the kind of Unicorn Collectables front.
Yeah, talking about our rip and ship, I do rip and ship for our NRL. You do Pokemon One Piece.
Yeah, Pokemon One Piece. So we've done quite a bit of One Piece already. Beautiful cards. But I think watching your streams, it's been really good seeing the NRL community. Honestly, I didn't know the trading card NRL community existed.
It is crazy.
Like I knew of the boxes, and I saw you see the boxes on retail and everything, but didn't realize how big
sold
the
a lot
hobby was
already. So boxes, retail boxes. So it is popular. So everyone get onto NRL select cards, because the cards are actually really nice as well. But talking about packs, we're going to do our game today. We're going to be opening Inferno X, and so hopefully we get a Charizard on the podcast today. So I'm gonna pick the third one on your left.
This left?
Yes. Third. Oh yeah, that's all right. I'll take that one. That's the fourth one.
One's hidden.
That's okay. No,
there.
Okay, here we go.
And I'm gonna take the one you declined, just so then you know what you missed out on.
So this pack has 5 cards in them. Okay, so hopefully if we get a God pack or we get a hit, that'll be awesome. All right, so here we go. We're gonna do a pack battle. Every podcast we do, we're gonna do a pack battle, and so this one is Inferno X. So let's go.
Yeah. So this is the Japanese Phantasmal Flame. So you guys know what pack goes into that.
All right.
Been a minute since we've opened this up.
Here we go. No god pack.
No god pack.
Here we go.
Oh, got the Charmander, so I'm gonna keep that for the PC.
Oh,
I've got something. I've
I got
got an
nothing. I got
EX.
literally nothing.
Nothing. So I've got a little
Oh,
EX here. Oh, if I don't know actually know this Pokemon, let me see.
let me see. What is that?
Not a
Oh, that's a nice
not a
one.
crazy hit,
Not a crazy hit,
but
but
I'm
that's
saying
better
all
than.
the new Mega ones. I really like the color of it. Like, look how
Mm.
colorful this is.
I think they're trying to make it, especially with the Mega series, they're trying to make it more prettier than the old EXs.
There we go.
So, well,
Oh, put you out of focus.
yeah. So I think the EXs now in the Mega series, they're actually looking a lot prettier than
Yeah,
the other ones.
yeah, we've done a lot in the streams. We've done a lot of Mega Dream,
Mm.
and the EXs there are beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
which, that's what I'm loving. Like, where it's not the same old pack kind of thing. Like slight
exactly.
variants, and I know people are going, "Oh, it's just the EXs and everything," but it's great that they're still like innovating, and from a art design perspective, they're kind of
Yeah.
creating beautiful cards.
I'll have this one. I was gonna bring it. So today's today's topic, we're talking about authentication and avoiding scams. So talking about looking at real cards and what's fake out there. There's fakes in a lot of the card hobby, so NBA, Pokemon, One Piece. Today we're going to be talking about our stories of how do we authenticate cards, and especially buying from someone, and avoiding scams, because I know we've heard a lot of stories out there, especially friends that are in the hobby that have done have been experienced scams in the card hobby. So um yeah, so I think with this one, you can see obviously this is real. All right, you can see it's very shiny. All right, this is Japanese here. Generally, you look at the front and the back. That's going to be massive tells. You want to tell us about Pokemon? What do you look at into a card, if it's real or fake? Something like, what's the first thing you look at?
Yeah, first thing I look at. Let me just jump up for a second. First thing I look at is obviously the color. So
Mm,
we've got the Japanese one here. I'm pretty sure we maybe have some English ones lying
yeah.
around.
Unfortunately, we don't have any fakes. Actually, fortunately, we don't have any fakes. So we can tell you what a real Pokemon card looks like.
I've got an English one now. I'm back. We have an English one here and a Japanese one, just so then you guys know that yeah. So the backs of Japanese and English are different. But first thing I do, because most of the ones that get faked are honestly probably English, just because they're generally worth more in the English market. Like you don't want to be faking something that's going to be hard to kind of distribute. And generally you'll find that they're faking more expensive cards as well. Like you wouldn't really find anyone really faking any of these EXs and Vs, etc., unless they're faking everything, unless the whole pack is fake.
Why would they not fake that one?
Because I guess the aim of for people faking it is mass production, like money. So I guess that brings to a question that I had was, I guess what is the most kind of fake card? And from a Pokemon side, it's a felt hat Pikachu. We know we love that card. I collect the crap out of it. And yeah, that's one that I've picked up a fake before and I sent it back. Lucky we had systems in place like eBay and all of that that kind of really assisted with that process. But more or less, so how you kind of really pick a fake, let's go to English, is coloring. So generally put up an energy card or a low end card and put it next to the card that you just bought. That's what I generally do, because no one's going to fake an energy card because it's impossible to try and make money from. So that's a good one as well. Put it on it, and then you'll kind of see a lot of the colors kind of be similar. And the other one that you can probably do is look at thickness, because something that people do in terms of faking is they get an energy card and then put at the back and then glue the back of it. So if you buy an expensive card and have a look from the top view, you might actually see that it's a bit thicker if they start doing that. Just because then that it kind of helps pass the color test, and energy cards are worth like nothing. Other one is textured. So a lot of the rare cards, especially in different eras, so I'm just like do a quick Google search of what it looks like, do a quick Reddit search of kind of what texture is on it, and most of them have textures or have a hologram running through it or something like that. And they're very hard to fake, or like fake successfully anyway. So you'll find a lot of them that are meant to have textures don't have textures. we just came from a show in Brizzy a couple months ago, and a guy saw what some of the cards were worth. Like we had the balloon Gengar, which is $1,000 card, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know my cards were worth that much." And then he came, and then I was trying to make him not feel too bad, but I was like, "Oh, I think they're fake." And then someone came from the back and was like, "Oh, you know, 100%." I spotted a fake from there, and you could just tell the texture wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, so it was the card was meant to have some sort of texture, and it was just flat. So there's a lot of these things, a lot of Pokemon knowledge that you need. But for me, two things that kind of really stand out is the color. So they generally from a printing process, getting blues and oranges actually pretty hard to get accurate. So you'll find that their blue is actually slightly off. Obviously, there's ones that are weathered and all of that, but generally, most of the case, if they're fake, the blue will be back. And what I went to just get was one of these things that I bring around when I do go to card shows, or like, because especially because we do buy a lot, or if there's one that I'm buying really high end ones, is I'll bring one of these. So this is a dual magnifying glass. So it's a tiny one that we bring around. It has a light in it, so we can shine on the thing, and it also has a um, UV light on it, a blue light on it, a black light on it. And that just helps me kind of get close because most fakes are really badly printed. So once you get it under magnifying glass, so there's a jeweler's one, so they can see quality in a diamond. When you get any card this close, you'll start seeing the quality start deteriorating as well because the printing quality isn't as good. So that's some of the things that I do to do that. How do you do it from an NBA perspective?
All right, so with the NBA perspective, it's the same. It's probably similar to what Pokemon is, and so this one here, this one's probably like $1. It's a Jokic card, and you can see here that a lot of the shiny it kind of shines really well. There's also around the player there's a kind of outline, and so you can see generally. And with Pokemon, with NBA, any card printing, they print it specifically a certain way, so it is easier to determine a fake card over a real card. So with this one, um, usually what we look at is the coloring of the card as well. If it's too generally with the fake ones that I've seen as well, they have generally too dark. But also if you look at the back, there's usually a one thing that most fake cards will have. This one here just says it's a basketball association card. I'll read it to you. It's basketball. I can't see. Yeah, so this black dot has a basketball and it says basketball around it. A lot of times because the when people print it at the fake ones, it's kind of pixelated. So that's another one that we look at. And that's there for even when Panini was licensed, they have that. If you're looking at older cards like a Michael Jordan and the Fleer Upper Deck has actual a hollow sticker on top of it. It would be like over here or at the back, and actually has Upper Deck on it. So obviously, Upper Deck only prints those ones, and so if it's there but it's not shining, that's you know it's fake. So same thing as Pokemon, how it's printed, how certain things are put on, will determine the how real or fake it is. So this one, no one will fake this one, because this is like a 1 cent card. Oh, probably $1 card. Um, so yeah, I think once you kind of look at enough cards, you can tell that the person actually has an outline. Um, and sometimes as well, the person doesn't actually shine. It's actually the things around it generally. So yeah, I think those are the things that we look at. We buy cards all the time, and so I think buying the card itself and then buying it from people is two different things, especially online when we buy stuff from people online. Um, I don't know. You can tell me what you go through when you want to buy something
Yeah,
online.
no, exactly. And that's where I think it's important. I know there's a lot more people getting into the hobby and a lot more people that want to buy off people online that jump onto forums, jump onto discords, jump onto marketplace. And we've heard so many stories you would have seen on the news probably a couple of months ago. I was down south, New South Wales, where they met up with someone to sell their cards in a parking lot, and they got kind of bashed, they got assaulted, and then the card stolen, obviously. So I think it's some of these things that, in terms of, if you're going to do it, not just necessarily get scammed, but also stay safe when you are trying to meet up with people as well, especially for marketplace and everything. Kind of general rules that I'll tell people that are getting into the hobby, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are very naive and go, oh, I think the best of everyone. And unfortunately, if you're, especially if you've just grown up and these are your cards from your childhood and people see value in it, they'll try to scam you, kind of thing. So I think number one thing is, if you are going to meet up with someone, obviously tell someone that where you're going, and then two, I always go somewhere where there's a camera. Like, one of my favorite spots is in a shopping center in front of a place that I know there's a seat, there's cameras like right above me and all of that, and I know and all of that. So then if anything happens, then you've got people around you. Versus, I think that person was end up meeting up with them in a parking lot, and I've heard people meeting up in a park. Like, that's fine to do that once you kind of know the person and everything. But if you don't know the person, it's first time you're meeting up with them, then obviously stay safe, protect your address, don't get them to meet you at your house, because if they know you're a collector as well, they know where your house is, they know what you have, etc. as well. So I think there's certain things like that that I would do to protect myself. Um, and then also, yeah, just make sure like it's cash on delivery kind of thing. Don't like, if they'll go, oh no, no, it's on the way, the money's in the thing. Obviously, if you know them, it's a different story. But if you don't know them, then they can disappear and have your cards with you. So I think, I guess that's a different way of scamming as well. But then yeah, and then also, I guess some of the stuff that I do before I meet up with someone, because I've dealt with people online through forums, through discords, is so a lot of key things is telling them to take better photos. So sometimes they'll just take one just to reel you in, and then go, okay, can you take photos of the corners, etc. Can you take a video with the date on it, kind of thing. So then, if you ask for a video, then they can't fake a lot of it. So photos, you can Photoshop, you can AI it, etc., or they can just steal someone's photo and Photoshop stuff into it. I think a video is a bit harder for them to get real, and then ask them to do those things. Tell them to zoom in on the letters, especially, and that's what I was about to mention. Where I think across the board, whether you're mentioning, whether you're collecting sports or TCG, I think number one thing that's a big giveaway on all fakes across all things, including fashion and all of that, is they just can't seem to get the fonts right. So I think that's the biggest thing. I have a design background, so I see fonts, and you can really tell the fakes. They seem to get the font wrong for some reason. But most of the time, like, these fonts that they've done are generally created fonts, or very unique fonts that you can't just download or aren't default from a computer as well. So I guess that's some of the things that you can do to prevent yourself jumping into an auction that's on eBay, for example, or bidding on something through a Facebook group, or a Discord or anything like that. And because a lot of those things visually can be like, oh, that looks off.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I think we've done a lot of, well, I've bought a lot of things from marketplace and eBay, and first thing I do is having a date. So as you said, having the date and the person's name on it with the cards, taking a photo, taking a video, all those things, because obviously you want it to, they can just get a photo from online and just say that this is my card.
That's so many times.
Yeah, I've seen it so many times.
Where people on some of the Facebook groups that I'm part of, they're like going, oh, don't deal with this guy because he just stole my photos.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good thing about when you buy cards, you join a group. I join NBA groups, card groups, and it's all run by businesses that are in the hobby. So it is all moderated. And so if you do end up getting scammed, you can talk to the moderator saying that this person just scammed me. They can kick him out. Hopefully you get your money back. But yeah, I think with meeting up with people, I generally meet up obviously during the daytime. Don't do nighttime unless you really trust the person. And then I don't hand over the product until I see payment in my bank account or in my hand, and I count it before I give over the product, because you can give over the product, you're short what, $20 when they give you the cash, and then they can just walk off and the product's in their hands already. So I don't actually hand over the product until I have the money on me. So I think that's another key thing to think about and to really get into the habit of. And also, yeah, just ask, especially with Facebook and in Marketplace, ask people that have dealt with that person. Oh, is this person reliable? Is this person, have you had any issues with this person? And that's where vouchers kind of come into play.
Yeah, like
And it's good.
and I think especially if you're new to the hobby, like
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
worry about if you're gonna offend them or if I ask for
Ah,
their things. Like
they don't get
it's so
offended.
normal, and I think
Yeah.
that's what I want to normalize. Where people are happy to show you, oh yeah, these people vouch for me, or yeah, happy for you to blast my name and photo on this Facebook group and ask for people to vouch for
Yeah.
me because people will.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Like I think join a community, try not to do these things
Yeah. Don't do it by
by
yourself.
yourself. I think some of the things that I've started as I've gone through, because I've learned a lot in this modern era of collecting. Like collecting for me was buying a pack for a couple of dollars back in the days, ripping it open, then collecting it. Like that's what my collecting was. And collecting has evolved so much over the years now. It's you can trade online with people, meet up with people, and all of that. But unfortunately, with all of that comes some of the danger that we need to do. But I think some of the things that I did from a payment perspective anyway is I use PayPal, so goods and services. So I always use PayPal GNS, and they're really good at. There was one guy that I sent him the money, and the product never came. And I'm sure every single person that's bought millions of cards has gone through that. And that's what. And I also just want to let everyone know, like, if you get scammed, don't be ashamed of it. It happens. But try to do all these things just to hopefully get your money back. But yeah, there was someone that I sent them the money, and then the product never came. He blocked me on Facebook, etc. I've joined a few groups. I wasn't sure what group he was part of, and he was gone on everything. So but then the good thing is I went to PayPal and I paid for the 3% for the goods and service payment. Showed them all the documentation, and I ended up getting my money back.
Yeah. So I think just be safe and be smart. I think the most important thing is being smart of when how to deal with people. And this hobby is people don't get offended. Like, oh,
And that's a good thing. People know that if you ask these questions, you pay for goods and services. Like you ask for that 3%. Like they're like, "Oh, cool, I will do the same thing." Like it's kind of normalizing that you need to look after yourself. You need to look after the hobby as well. It's so funny that like we've got so much stories of people coming to our booths and coming to meet us in person and go, "Is this fake? Is this real?" Like I've had so many stories of that. There was one time we were at the markets where someone came up to us with a shadowless base set Charizard. So that's a very expensive card, and like I from a mile away I spotted that it was fake.
oh yeah,
and
100%.
yeah, and then I was like going, oh, that's so fake. But then I obviously don't want them to feel bad, and then like, oh, I just bought this, and he bought it for a couple thousand. It's worth way more than that in a shadowless kind of base. But then I was like, oh, it looks so fake. Like the printing was fall off, and I didn't need to bring out the magnifying glass at all. And then he was like, oh, but I've had a few people saying, oh, it could be real, all of that. So then my advice is, if you are really unsure and you don't want to be like, oh, it's fake, etc., try get it graded.
Yeah,
Go
they'll
to a
tell
local
you.
company. Like there's heaps in Australia, heaps in kind of Sydney, that are just local graders. So just they're probably one of the cheaper ones, kind of ones, and there's some premium ones as well. There's heaps of kind of graders that are Australian based, and you can go there and go, can I get this graded? And most of the time they'll go like, I can't grade that. That's fake. So most of the graders, and even if you don't believe that person, go to one of the other graders. And
Mm.
I think that for me, that's the biggest litmus test.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
don't have to get graded, get authenticated.
Yeah,
If
I
you
get
still believe
authenticated.
that
And the good thing about that is that when you get graded and you get authenticated with the companies, they'll come back, they'll say it's not real. And generally, you don't have to pay anything because obviously it's fake.
it's come back, yeah, yeah, because it hasn't been graded or slabbed or anything. Yeah, so you usually that's a good litmus test, and then I think that's a good way for you to hopefully kind of get some sort
Mm,
of money back,
mm.
etc. Yeah, but I think we've all had those horror stories of kind of getting
Yeah,
scammed and everything, but yeah, I think the aim is putting these systems in place from payment to understanding, okay, my card is fake. How do I verify that it's fake? Because I still believe it's real because I don't want to have lost a couple of $1,000s.
yeah,
And yeah, my biggest advice is one, go to shops that you know, look at cards every day so they
yeah,
have a whole heap of singles. So don't go to the big box stores that all they carry is sealed
yeah,
kind of
that's
thing
it.
because it just means that they don't see cards as much as we do.
No, they just sell it and then.
Yeah, they sell the boxes, so they don't see those singles. Or go to a rip and shipper that you
Mm,
know looks at cards every single day. Cause I have to say like where I'm so much better at kind of sweating out fakes than I was a year ago, 2 years
exactly
ago.
right. Yeah, we're at a show, a card show, probably a year ago, and someone came up to us with Pokemon. Um, and they're like, "Oh, you want to have a look at our Pokemon cards?" and some of them were nice. But then this is my wife was dealing with them, and then I looked over. I was like, "This one's fake." And like, "Oh, is it?" I was like, "Yeah, you can tell by the color and the just because it was too dark, the quality of the paper or the actual card itself, it was very glossy. Like the glossy ones are like there's bad ones, and there's actually very good fakes out there. This one was pretty bad, and so I told him that this one's fake, and I had to be honest with him. I didn't want to deal with them anymore because I didn't know what was real and what was fake in that pile. So just be smart with it, and that's our general rule is that if one's fake and someone's trying to sell it to you, I wouldn't trust the whole entire thing.
Yeah, and
So
that's good advice. That's advice that I've given to our nephew. That he I know he knows that they're fake. Some of the ones he gets from his friends are fake.
Yeah.
And some of the ones that he's bought and he rips with his dad and family are real. My advice to him was get rid of the fake ones, because once and I tell him like when we find a fake in a folder, I close the whole folder because it's going to be too much effort for me to be trying to authenticate every single card in your collection now. Like it's just not worth my time to buy a set that it could all be fake, it could all be real minus the one. Like,
yeah, you just
but
don't know.
yeah, like I kind of like shut down, especially in the middle of a show. Like
Oh
we just
yeah,
don't have the time to authenticate your whole set.
yeah,
Like it's just not worth it for us.
yeah.
But yeah, like speaking about that as well, like we've had a lot of people at these shows coming to try to sell us fake slabs.
Mm,
And as much as people are like, "Oh, cool, it's a slab, it's real, etc." Like
you can break it
process,
open.
there's still processes you need to do that. Yeah, like there's been crazy amount of people, and obviously cracking ones open and getting them redone, like kind of regraded. But then obviously there's ones that are people are, especially there's certain brands that you can just crack open this little bit, take out the real card, and you've got the little grade tag on top, and slip in the fake, and then close it up
Yeah, exactly
and
right.
then regrade it. For that, I would give totally different advice. On top of every single slab, you have the authentication
The number.
number,
Yeah.
and certain ones actually do have certain brands. So depending on what brand it is, they have a photo of what the card actually is. And I'm like, so I get a lot of felt hats, as if you guys know me. And there was a felt hat that I had to send back because it looked so off. And I think the way that I verified it, and I spoke to the guy that sold it to me online on eBay, and he goes, "Oh no, there's ones that come in different colors, like different kind of fades, like they did two runs, etc." And it sounded believable. But then the number one thing that pushed me over, going, "Nah, it's 100% fake," was I went to the grading company's website, put in the little
The
number,
number.
and it had a photo there, and the photos didn't match. Like the color variance between the two was totally off, and things was like that. But honestly, I think it was a pretty good fake. Like besides it being kind of having a light kind of fade, all the blacks were still pretty black, and the fonts were right. Like it looked
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
And but since it was a bit of a thicker slab as well, it was hard to tell thickness on it. But yeah, but I think that's the thing. Like if you suspect that it's a fake, plug in that number into the app, and then you'll kind of see one, is it the same kind of number that comes out, or does the number even come out at all, or is it the same photo? We've had a show last year where a kid tried to came up with a whole pile of slabs. It wasn't PSA, it was one of the other brands. And he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I've gone around here," and then I was like, "These are pretty good cards," and the fact that no other vendor tried to buy it
Mm,
kind of raised red flags for me as
mm.
well. And so then I just chucked in the number, and then none of the cert numbers on the website loaded. They're all kind of
Yeah.
fake. So then I was like, nah. And
Yeah.
then,
And a good thing about other grading companies as well is they have QR codes at the back. So even if, let's say you're buying online a slab, tell them to take a photo at the back. You can scan the QR code and then they'll send you to the a website of that actual company. And you can see from that, like PSA has the codes. Other companies do have codes too, but they have the QR codes at the back just to make things easier with a camera and everything. But yeah, just do all those checks because people do crack slabs all the time and then they might print off. I've seen on different websites, they sell empty slabs. So people do that, and then put in, so let's say PSA label or a different label on it, and then put a different card in it and they sell it. So um, just be careful with it.
yeah, it's actually so easy to get those kind of fake slabs. I
Mm,
think in the US, I saw that Walmart, or I think that game that big game store there actually sells empty
Empty slabs.
empty slabs that look like the PSA slab.
Yeah.
I get it. People just want to slab or encapsulate the thing to protect it. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the MagSafe stuff. I
Yeah.
get it, but then I think it does open up a risk. So I think that's where you guys need to understand, like, if you're buying PSA or something, know where the holograms are. Every
Yeah.
company generally has holograms
Yeah.
on all their things. So from
Yeah.
a print quality perspective,
PSA has a in the bottom right of the front.
yeah,
They
and
have the PSA
even
on it.
and even I think some of their plastics you'll kind of see it repeating over the top.
Yeah.
All the brands they have some sort of thing. So if you are buying non kind of big mainstream ones, so we're talking about the PSAs, the Beckett's, and all that, and just understand where the holograms are, and do all your checks and all of that. Even before you meet up with a person, you can literally do a quick
Yeah. Download the
number
app
check.
on your phone.
Yeah.
PSA has an app, and so you just have to download it, put in the code, or you can actually take a photo of the slab, and then it'll go straight to the actual card itself. So yeah, I think it's all preparing all of you to or preparing for those situations. Have downloading app, doing your checks before buying it, and yeah, just be smart with it. I know it's exciting to when you get a card, but just be smart and just do your
Yeah,
checks.
especially like if you think that it feels off, like the person feels a bit sus.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with him on Facebook and he just created an account this
Yeah,
year
or they joined a group within like the last month.
and or doesn't have any friends either on it, or has a limited number of friends kind of thing, and the account just seems sus, like it might be a crazy deal because it's too good to be true. It feels too good to be true because it probably is in most cases, that it's probably fake or you're gonna get scammed. But if that's the case, if you still want to go through it, make sure you put in all these processes. Anyway, I guess a question I've been wanting to ask, in your opinion, what do you think the most counterfeited or faked NBA card is?
NBA card is going to be the Jordan Fleer rookie card. We have seen so many fakes, or if it's not even a fake, there's I've seen in the groups that I know there's been a reprint on them, which is a real reprint. It says the date in the bottom left hand corner, but some people actually pass it off as the original Fleer Jordan card, and so people who are new to it get excited, like, oh, I know this card, but it's selling for like $100 or $50 for something, but the real original print of the Fleer goes for thousands of dollars. And so, and that's probably the one that still up to today, people call those people out like, this is a reprint, not the original Fleer. So that's probably, for me, that's probably the most reprinted, because that's, people get the money from that. Even especially when it's new, or you're a new collector, you're like, oh, I want this card. That's, they don't do their checks. They don't know what a real one looks like, or they don't know what the original one looks like. I know Fleer has a little arrow on top of it, near the logo, and that's, people determine that as a real. So, but I think on Pokemon, what's the most reprinted or fake card you've seen so far?
The one that's definitely counterfeited the most is the
Oh,
felt
you
hat.
said the felt hat.
Definitely the felt hat. I think it's iconic. And I've said across all of our things, if you were going to invest in a Pokemon card or something for the future, I'd say it'd be the Van Gogh. And I said that ages ago when it was only going for half of the amount it is going now. It literally had its spike because other companies, like I think there was an investment company that was trying to get all of the tens in it, and that's the reason why it's probably one of the most pumped card as well. And since it's a promo, it doesn't have as many of the checks and bounds of the textures and everything of other kind of ones as well. Obviously, it does have some of those, but I think it's about understanding and and some of them are really good faked as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just those, especially like I'd probably have a look, like if you're trying to buy one of these that are most counterfeited kind of thing. Some of them have been somewhat normalized in society now because there's so many out there. So I think just understanding what's the real and which one's the fake one as well.
Yeah, Pokemon, the first thing I look at is the back,
Yeah.
because the back's going to be the same, especially the English ones. They're the same for all the cards. Doesn't matter what type of card it is. It's going to be, besides the Japanese, English ones, I look at them and you can generally tell straight away if it's fake or real. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think it's been a good episode. I think it was one that we thought really needed. I think we saw a lot of in the news, a lot of the social YouTubers kind of thing, even getting rid of some of their product in the background to keep themselves safe, because I think one of them got robbed in their own personal house. As I said previously, there's people that have been losing, like doing the meetup and getting robbed that way. And then obviously there's been shops as well that are getting, like, I think the hobby is in a place that it's insane. And I think we wanted to make sure there's information out there for due diligence as you kind of get out there. But yeah, keep up the hobby. Like, I don't want this to slow down the hobby at all. And I think this is just a factor of humanity and what happens when something gets big and popular and stuff. But make sure you keep yourself safe, keep your family safe, and kind of keep these bounds and checks in. But yeah, been a great episode. We'll see you at the next episode. Make sure you follow us across all social platforms so you know where we're going to be. Peace.